good evening. The date is a Wednesday in mid-July. I want to begin by saying something that I don't think I've said clearly enough in our previous evenings together, which is that I am quite aware, that I am not technically an impartial narrator. I love this town. I want to be transparent about that. I've been the town historian for 22 years, which means I have spent 22 years paying close attention to Snorewood. And the thing about paying close attention to something for a very long time is that you stop being able to see it the way a stranger would. You stop seeing the cracks. Or rather, you see the cracks, but you've watched them long enough that they've become part of the face. And a face without its particular cracks and lines is just a face. It's not anyone's face. I love this town the way you love something you know well. Specifically, correctly. I tell you this because I've been thinking about it all day, for reasons that will become clear. The time is 7:15 in the evening. The sky for most of the day has been the color of old pewter. Overcast, warm, the air thick, with the particular humidity that Lake Ontario produces in July when it is in a certain mood. The kind of air that makes people move a little slower, speak a little quieter, make a second glass of iced tea. There is a thunderstorm coming. It is not here yet, but it is somewhere out over the lake, working its way in, and the town can feel it. The way towns that sit on large bodies of water learn to feel these things. A pressure in the air, a quality to the quiet. The lightning will arrive around 9. We'll be here when it does. I should explain about the library talk. 3 weeks ago, I received an email from Patricia Sondergaard, who is the head librarian at the Snorewood Public Library and has been for 16 years, and who runs, in my estimation, one of the finest small-town libraries in Ontario, which I recognize is another unverified superlative. But in this case, I'm prepared to defend it at length to anyone who'd like to sit down about it. The email asked if I would be willing to give a talk. A public lecture, she called it, which I found both flattering and slightly alarming. The subject, the history of Snorewood, which is, of course, my subject. My only subject, professionally speaking. I have written 340 pages on this subject. I have a 4th volume in progress. I have given versions of this talk at the Rotary Club, at the Horticultural Society, at a retirement party for the previous Public Works Director, and once, memorably, at a bachelorette event that had clearly expected a different kind of entertainment and received instead 45 minutes on Snorewood's early municipal water system. They were polite about it. The talk, Patricia said, would be this coming Saturday, open to the public. She expected 30 to 50 people. I said yes immediately, and then spent 3 weeks being completely unable to decide where to begin. This is the problem, not the talk, the beginning. You would think, I thought, that after 22 years and 340 pages, the question of where to begin the history of Snorewood would be settled. Obvious. First principles. But the longer I've been doing this, the more I've come to believe that the beginning of a thing is not a fact. It's a decision, and like all decisions, it contains within it a whole set of values and assumptions about what matters, and those are not neutral. Do I begin in 1847, when the town was incorporated? That's the official answer. That's what the sign at the edge of town says. The one with the town crest and the founding year, which was repainted in 2019 and looks very good. But 1847 is only when the town was named Snorewood. People were here before that. The Mississaugas of the Credit were here long before any settler drew a survey line. Do I begin with the land? Do I begin with the lake? Do I begin with the water? I've been sitting with this all day. I went to see Bev about it. Of course I went to see Bev about it. In Snorewood, if you have a problem that involves books or thinking or the correct arrangement of ideas, you go to Bev. This is just how it works. Bev, not looking up from whatever she's doing behind the counter, which is a form of attention that Bev has perfected. She is always doing something else and always listening completely.
You're overthinking the beginning.
I haven't told you the problem yet.
You walked in with your thinking face on. You've had your thinking face on for 3 weeks. The whole town has noticed.
The whole town has.
Maureen mentioned it. Doug mentioned it, which means it got through to Doug, which means it's been going on a while. What's the talk about?
The history of Snorewood.
So begin with Snorewood.
I can't decide what Snorewood begins with, whether it's the year of incorporation, or the land before that, or...
Gerald, what's the first thing you think of when someone says Snorewood?
The lake.
Then begin with the lake. Everything else comes after the lake. The lake was here first. The lake is why anyone is here. Begin with the lake and work forward. It's not complicated.
But the lake predates human settlement by...
Gerald, begin with the lake. Do you want a cup of tea?
I had the tea. I sat in the chair she keeps near the window. There's a chair, an old wingback in a faded green, that is for customers who need to sit and think and is positioned such that you can see both the street and a wall of books simultaneously, which turns out to be exactly the right combination of things to look at when you're working something out. I sat there for an hour. At some point, Bev came by and put a second cup of tea at my elbow without saying anything, and I understood then, as I've understood many times before, that Bev's books and miscellany is not actually primarily a bookshop. It's something else that happens to have books in it, a kind of infrastructure. For thinking, the town would be different without it. Quiet in the wrong way. I'm going to begin with the lake. It is now 7:45. The storm is closer. You can see it. If you're facing south toward the lake, the clouds over the water have a different quality, a darkness that has mass and intention. There's been no thunder yet, just the knowing. The Drowsy Bean is quieter than a summer Wednesday usually is. When the air gets like this, the town tends to stay home. Maureen doesn't mind. She has her new menu board. It arrived 2 weeks ago, and it is, she told me, exactly right. Small, wood-framed, her handwriting enlarged, Snorewood's corner since 2003. She has received 7 compliments on it. She has said thank you to all 7 and nothing else, because the menu board is not a statement requiring discussion. It simply is. Tonight she's doing something she's been meaning to do for some time. She's going through the recipe box, Maureen to Dani, who is wiping down the machine with the careful attention of someone who respects equipment.
My mother gave me this box when I opened. Did I ever tell you that?
The recipe box?
She said, "Here, these are the ones that work. Don't lose them. Don't change them." She was very specific about not changing them. The shortbread is hers. It's her shortbread. I just make it. This one is mine, the chamomile latte. I made it up in our second winter. We were very slow in that second winter. I needed something to do with my hands, so I experimented. It took 11 tries, 11 batches before it tasted like what I wanted it to taste like. Dani, do you know what it wanted to taste like? Like being indoors when it's cold outside. That was the whole target. Just that specific feeling. I think I got it, eventually.
Did you ever want to open somewhere else? Like a bigger city? You could run a really...
No, I never wanted somewhere else. My mother opened a shop in Sudbury. She ran it for 8 years. It was a good shop. She was good at it, but she talked about it a certain way, like it was something she was doing until the real thing. I didn't want a real thing. I wanted this thing, the corner, the window, the same people coming in every day.
Maureen looks at a recipe card, reads it for a moment.
You know what the best part of this job is? Not the coffee. The coffee is craft, and I care about the craft, but that's not it. It's knowing. After 21 years, I know what everyone's having before they say it. I know who needs a quiet table and who needs someone to talk to. I know that Doug takes his tea the same way every morning and never varies and finds this stabilizing. I know that Terry orders something complicated and specific that changes every few months. Because Terry is always in a new phase. I know this place. This is what I chose.
For what it's worth. I think about staying.
I know you do.
Dani has been with Maureen for 2 years and is finishing a degree in kinesiology online at the University in Ottawa, and has told herself and her parents and several friends that the Snorewood job is temporary, a placeholder, until. She is beginning to suspect that until is not a destination. Snorewood has a way of doing this to people. Nick knows about this. Priya knows about this. A not insignificant percentage of the town's population arrived meaning to be somewhere else and simply didn't leave. The town doesn't trap you. It doesn't even try. It's just agreeable. And agreeableness over time is surprisingly powerful. The Tuesday 6 o'clock class has become, in 6 weeks, the most full class on Priya's schedule. 11 students who signed up at the farmer's market. Many of them people who have been meaning to try yoga for years, and found in the low-stakes setting of a Saturday morning in a parking lot enough of an opening to say yes. The man in the green jacket, his name, it turns out, is Franklin, which Priya did not know until the 3rd class because she'd been calling him the tall one, comes every Tuesday. He is, Priya told Marcus, not bad. He is also less nervous than his farmer's market posture suggested, or possibly just differently nervous. He asks good questions. He waits until the end of class to ask them, which is correct. Tonight is Wednesday. No class. Priya is alone in the studio, which is rarer than it sounds. She is doing her own practice, which she does every Wednesday evening, and which is the hour she protects most fiercely in her week. Not for the students, not for the schedule, not for the coffee side, for herself. She's in a long hold, something steady close to the floor, the kind of position where the goal is not effort but patience. Staying. Breathing. Through the west window, the sky over the lake has gone a color that has no good name. A pre-storm yellow-gray-green. The light is strange and specific and very beautiful in the way that things are beautiful when they're about to change. She's watching it. She told me once. I interviewed her for Volume 3, the ongoing volume. She told me that the reason she teaches the way she does, the particular emphasis she has on stillness over movement, on holding over flowing, is because she spent her 20s in a state of constant motion and arrived in her 30s having no idea how to stop. She said, I moved to Snorewood to learn how to stop. I'm still learning. The lake helps. Something about the scale of it. Something about a body of water that large just continuing regardless. It doesn't need your attention. It doesn't want anything from you. It's just there. And for someone who has spent a lot of years believing that her presence and effort were required at all times. Something about that is medicinal. I wrote that down. I write most things down. But I wrote that one slowly. At 8:45, the first crack of thunder comes in off the lake. Priya doesn't move. She's in the hold. She stays. Good. Doug Parkinson went to the pier at 8:15, as always, storm incoming or not. He was asked by his neighbor Mrs. Vasiliev, who was putting her patio furniture inside as he passed, whether he was sure about going to the pier with a storm coming. He said yes, he was sure. She said, "Doug, there's lightning coming." He said he'd watch for it. She made a sound that communicated her complete feelings on this decision and went back inside. Doug has been raiding the lake for 11 years. He has raided it in rain, in fog, in February ice, in the tail end of a November gale that had small craft advisories on it. He has never missed an evening raiding. He is not going to start missing them for a thunderstorm that is, as he noted in the log, clearly still 12 to 15 minutes out. He timed it by the gap between the lightning and the thunder. He knows how to do this. He timed it, determined he had sufficient margin, and conducted his assessment. Doug standing at the end of the pier, the wind now doing something serious, hair moving entirely unbothered.
Wednesday, July 8/19. Right, color. I'm going to need a moment with the color tonight. The lake is... I've been doing this 11 years and I don't have a word for what the lake is doing with color right now. The main body of the water is very dark, almost black, but there's a stripe maybe 200 meters out, where the cloud breaks slightly, where the light is coming through at an angle, and that stripe is gold, a dark gold, the color of something old. Something decided. I can't put a number on the color tonight. That's a first. I'm exceptional, unrateable, recommend seeing in person. Choppiness, 7. The storm is building the waves, 2.5 feet, maybe 3 and growing. Consistent direction. The lake is preparing for something. You can feel it through the boards of the pier. You can feel it in your feet. Smell, 9. 9 out of 10 for smell. It smells like the storm and the lake together. Ozone and deep water and something electric, and underneath that the cold, permanent, ancient cold that is always there and that you usually can't quite reach. Tonight you can reach it. Tonight it's right on the surface. It's the best smell the lake has produced since I started keeping records. 9. I'm going to do something I've never done. I'm going to rate the storms separately. I know that's not what I do. I rate the lake. The lake and the storm are different things, but tonight they're working together in a way that I think deserves documentation. They're collaborating, that's the word. Collaborating. The storm separately from the lake is 7 miles, moving fast. The storm is an 8. The lake tonight is a 9. I've never given a 9. I wasn't sure I would ever give a 9. There'll be a 10 someday. I believe in the 10. But the 9 is right for tonight. The 9 is what tonight is. That's a 9.
He made it back to the beach path just as the rain started. Not the gentle kind of rain, the kind that arrives with a decision. Heavy, warm, purposeful. He stood under the awning of the closed snack bar for the worst of it, watching the lake receive the storm. He told me later that watching the storm hit the lake was the finest 11 minutes he'd spent standing still in recent memory. I asked him, "Finer than a 9? He said the 9 was part of it. You can't separate them. Right, you can't separate them. At 9:15, a person arrives at the Drowsy Bean wet from the rain, slightly out of breath, wearing a jacket that was not designed for this level of precipitation. It is Nick. He has the night off, a rare Wednesday off, a scheduling thing, and he spent the early part of the evening at home reading, then watching the storm build over the lake from his apartment window, then deciding, in the way that Nick makes decisions, which is slowly, and then all at once, that he would rather be somewhere than alone with the weather. He stood outside the Bean for a moment, looking at the sign, the menu board in the window, Snorewood's Corner since 2003. He came in. At the Bean, warm, the rain loud on the windows, 3 other customers scattered at tables, the ceiling fan still turning, Maureen at the counter.
Did you walk here?
It wasn't raining when I left.
It was clearly about to be raining when you left.
I optimized for speed over waterproofing.
Grab a seat. What do you want?
What do you recommend? I mean that genuinely. I'm learning the menu.
Maureen stops. This is not a question she gets often. People know what they want, usually, or they order something familiar. Being asked for a genuine recommendation is, for Maureen, like being asked to play a song you've written yourself. She looks at him for a moment, not rudely, just assessing, the way she assesses all her people.
You're cold. You got wet. It's a storm night. I'm going to make you something that isn't on the board.
Okay.
It's a thing I make in storms. It's espresso and steamed milk, and a small amount of dark chocolate. And something else I'm not going to tell you about, because then you'd try to replicate it, and you couldn't. And you'd feel bad about the attempt. I don't have a name for it. I've made it maybe 40 times in 21 years, only when it's raining hard. I've never written it on the menu.
What do people call it?
They don't. They just say, the thing you made me that time it stormed. Or they come in the next time it rains, and they sit down and they look at me and I know.
Nick, wrapping his hands around it. The way you wrap your hands around something that is exactly the right temperature, he takes a sip, he pauses.
What's the something else? Is it cardamom?
I'm not going to tell you.
It's cardamom. And something else.
Maureen settling in, the storm loud on the windows, the drink in his hands.
This is like being indoors when it's cold outside. That's the only way I can describe it. Like the specific feeling of being inside during a storm. How did you do that?
21 years of service. Drink it slow.
Maureen almost smiles. The same almost smile from the sidewalk outside groundwork, but warmer this time, more interior. The closed door, to the room, to no one, or to 21 years of the same corner, very quietly. She turns off the light over the counter. At 10 o'clock I am in my study, which is where I go after an evening of thinking, and which is a room containing approximately 900 books and a desk and a lamp and a view through a small window of the side of the house next door, which is not a dramatic view, but is a reliable one. I have a piece of paper in front of me. At the top I have written, "Where does Snorewood begin?" Underneath, in my handwriting, which is large and somewhat assertive for a man who considers himself measured, it begins with the lake. I've written a page and a half, just notes. Not the talk yet. The thoughts before the talk. The thoughts about what I want to say, and why I want to say it, and who I'm saying it to. I'm saying it to the people who live here. That's who the audience is Saturday. People who know this town. People who don't need me to explain what it looks like, or where the coffee shops are, or how many there are per capita. They know, they've heard. Some of them have probably Googled it by now, though no one's told me. I'm not informing them. That's not what this is. I think what this is, I want to tell them what I see when I look at Snorewood. after 22 years of looking. I want to tell them that a town is not its founding date. It's not its population or its beach ranking or its anomalous coffee shop density. A town is the accumulation of its ordinary evenings, the things that happen when nothing is happening. The woman in the corner with the recipe box, the man on the pier with the binoculars, the books on the shelf that someone put there because they thought you might need one tonight. A town is where Nick walked into the rain because he wanted to be somewhere with people instead of alone. A town is where Maureen knew what to make him before he sat down. That's what I want to say on Saturday. I think Bev was right. Begin with the lake. Everything else comes after. It is nearly 11. The storm is moving northeast, up the lake toward Kingston and beyond. The sky over Snorewood is clearing from the west, not dramatically, not all at once, but the stars are beginning to show at the edge of it. Doug is home, dry, the notebook open on the table. He's looking at the 9. He's looked at it several times tonight. He'll look at it again tomorrow. In 11 years of ratings, the distribution goes many 4s and 5s and 6s, which are the comfortable working days of the lake, a respectable number of 7s, a handful of 8s. He checked, and there have been 9 8s, which means tonight is the 10th, and now 1 9. He told me when I called him, yes, I called him. I call Doug sometimes when something happens that seems significant. He told me that the 9 doesn't make the 5s less. He said, the 5s are why you recognize the 9. I wrote that down too. Bev is home. I don't know exactly what she's reading tonight. She didn't do her closing recommendation because she closed early on account of the weather, and she left no note. But knowing Bev and knowing July and knowing the storm that just came through, I have a reasonable guess. The old man in the sea. She'd say, that's presumptuous of me. She'd probably be right. Watership down, maybe. Something with weather in it. Something old and settled and true. Nick, the log. His voice has something in it tonight that wasn't there before. Something that has arrived the way June arrived all at once.
Wednesday, July. I'll say the 16th. I think it's the 16th. Storm came through. A good one. The lake was. I saw it from the Drowsy Bean window. Maureen's windows face east, but the storm was moving northeast by then, and you could see the edge of it over the rooftops, the lightning over the water. I thought about Doug. I thought he saw this from the pier. I thought he rated it. I'll ask him tomorrow what it got. I'm guessing high. I had a drink tonight that I don't have a name for. Maureen made it. It's for storms. I'm not going to try to describe it because I'll get it wrong. And also because I think part of what made it good is that you can't get it anywhere else. You can only get it there, in that corner, in a storm. From Maureen, after 21 years. I told her it was my place. I meant it. I meant it the way I meant it when I said I was moving to Snorewood to slow down. Incomplete, but true. True in the direction of something larger. I've been here 11 months. I know where things are now. Not just streets and shops. I know where things are. I know who Bev is, and what the faded green chair is for, and why the recipe box matters, and how Doug relates to the lake like it's a long conversation. I know that Unit 14 will alarm at 11:14. 11:12. It's going to be early tonight. The barometric pressure from the storm. I'll give it 2 minutes. The lake tonight, by sound, after the storm. The sound of something that's been through something and is fine. Better than fine. Clarified. I don't have a number for it. Doug has the numbers. I'll ask him tomorrow.
The alarm sounds right on cue. 11:13, 1 minute early, and Nick, without any urgency, picks up the radio.
There it is, right on schedule.
The sound of the radio, briefly, then fading. The lake post-storm. The clarified air over Snorewood. Stars now, coming through the clearing, the lake. Not a 9 anymore. The 9 was the storms. Now something steadier. A 7, maybe. A very good 7. The lake after something, returning to itself. The town in the dark. Nick at his desk. Doug at his table, looking at the number. Priya in her studio earlier, in the hold, watching the strange light. Bev at home with something old and true. Maureen's corner, dark. The menu board just visible in the streetlight through the window. In my study, a page and a half of notes. It begins with the lake. Everything else comes after. The lake was a 9 tonight. Doug has never given a 9 before, he said. The 5s are why you recognize the 9. I've been the historian of this town for 22 years. I have been paying close attention for 22 years. I think I'm fairly sure that this is one of the evenings I'll write about. Not because of the storm, though the storm was exceptional. Not because of the 9, because of the way everything held together. Maureen's recipe box and the drink with no name and Nick coming in out of the rain. Priya in the hold watching the strange light. Bev, wherever she is, reading something true. Because of the way a town, on an ordinary Wednesday in July, takes a storm and makes something of it. I'll begin with the lake on Saturday, and I'll work forward. And now, in Snorewood, the lights are low, the streets are quiet, and the lake has gone still.